Welcome, football fans. Gotta say that first. And of course, welcome, sports fans. Thank you all so very much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Sports Couple Perspective. As both Cecilia and I get ready to deliver you yet another awesome jam-packed hour of good old sports talk from the perspective of a sports couple. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for everybody tuning in live or tuning in here on the podcast. I'm excited and ready to rock and roll. And as always, I know my co-host / woman of my dreams, future wife, definitely is the lovely Cecilia. How you doing tonight, baby?
Hi.
It's gonna be a fun one tonight. We got plenty of things to get into. You know, this show is definitely a little bit slower because we have someone here who, of course, is just getting into sports because of me, which is really, really awesome. I think it's awesome. She literally wanted to do this thing, because of me. I loved it. Like, seriously, that was, like, the coolest thing in the world when she was like, heck yeah, I want to do a podcast with me. Because I thought it'd be a great thing after we did the jersey thing about the NFL jerseys about a month ago in December. Actually, my gosh, a little bit over a month ago now. And here we are on our 5th episode, if I'm not mistaken. My goodness, is that where we are? I think we are. My gosh, I can't even keep track of these shows. Let me take a quick look here, because I'm pretty sure that's where we are tonight. That's right, tonight is the 5th episode of the Sports Couples Perspective. Babe, how about that? 5 episodes today.
It goes fast.
It sure does. Last week we had quite the fun one, and this week it's going to be right back to the same. So with that said, I hope you're excited, because it's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Tonight we're talking, of course, about the main attraction of the week. We're getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday coming on up. And we're putting a lid on our month of football that we have gone over this past month, all the way through January, and here we are now into February. Overall, babe, we've watched 4 football movies now, dealing with 4 different things, but they all involve the sport of football. And here we are tonight, getting ready for the biggest game of the entire year, every year, Super Bowl Sunday. I just want to know, right off the top of your head, football in general, what have you got to say about it?
That's pretty cool. I mean, since I'm still getting the hang of everything, or understanding the sport, it's good.
You know what? I'll take it. This is a sport that I have sleep, lived, and breathed and dreamed the last, 16, 17 years now. And, it's just something that just doesn't get old to me. But to somebody like Cecilia, who just, wasn't really a sports fan, and she's doing her best to get into it, while she's doing great getting into it, but it's insane to think of, I don't know a lot of life without football, that's just what it is. So, but it's awesome to think that football has given me so much in my life. The will to be strong, the way to be strong, the way to fight through things. I feel like, honestly, God has blessed me with this sport to play it in order to just be a fighter in life. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, just the ins and outs of football and what it's all about. I mean, we, of course, if you've tuned in the last the last 4 episodes, we started things off 1 month ago, or a little bit over a month ago, we started things off with Friday Night Lights, of course, high school football, major high school football in Texas, a team who made it all the way to the championship game, the state game, and they lost in the state game. We saw a lot of emotions in there. Saw a lot of, basically high school as it goes. Okay. And we saw a team that got all the way there, lost. The very next year, they won the championship, the state championship in Texas. But we saw high school football in a very serious role in Texas. Then the very next week, we got into a very serious role, another high school football story, of course, but a very serious streak, of course, the streak from 92 all the way to 2004. When the Game Stands Tall, of course, amazing movie. When the Game Stands Tall, we really enjoyed it. about a team who faced adversity, who lost that streak, but who still fought back and still won state and did so many great things that year, even with some tough losses. Beat a very tough Long Beach Poly team. Faced adversity with a small team, not a gigantic team in numbers, or really in size, but they were against a bunch of diehards. And what a great coach really is in Coach Ladouceur. And then we got into Concussion a couple weeks ago. Will Smith, of course, acted in that movie. Awesome job by him. And just the seriousness that can go with this sport, from injuries, incredibly crazy sport that can bring about unfortunate damage to the brain that you don't even know you have until you die, which is really sad, but causes all kinds of horrible things. And then, of course, last week, The Little Giants. Yeah, it was really awesome. Of course, Cecilia, a early childhood education major. That's her thing. She'll be working in the preschool soon. She is awesome, and she loves kids. And we talked about, kids and sports and that whole bit. We took a big step backwards to the age group. And then tonight, we watched, I think it was a great way to put a lid on football in these 5 episodes, with Any Given Sunday, which is professional, and you get into all the politics. So we did skip college. You could have watched Rudy. I know we'll probably watch that maybe next season. We could have watched, a movie like that. But the politics inside of college is almost like the professional, especially when it gets to the higher Division I levels, like, D1 single A, which is the FBS division. And, well, you're just a number, basically, and it's very political when it comes to that, of course. All the rules, the ins, the do's, the don'ts, all those terrible things we talked about a couple episodes ago as well, with being treated unfair by the NCAA and all that. But with that said, tonight, once again, we just finished Any Given Sunday a little bit ago, and that movie really gets into the politics of coaching, to the owners, to the team, to the prima donnas, to the serious players, to the, well, of course they're all serious, but to, the different personalities on a team, and how one person can try and hold them together, how that person can be stressed out and freaked out, and just all the politics that goes into a professional team, kind of the things that we don't really see unless we're really reading articles and everything. But with that said, all those 5 movies, I think, sum it up pretty darn well, from Pee-wee all the way up into the professionals. And I just felt it was a fun ride watching football, and now we're going to put a lid on it, get into the Super Bowl this weekend. But with that said, babe, I want to open it up to you now and ask you what your thoughts are. Number one, above all, I know you didn't really care for the movie too much. I don't want to spoil it for our listeners here. But talk about Any Given Sunday, and what were things you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. What did you learn about football tonight?
I thought it was okay, but I didn't realize how much politics are in it, or involved with the sport. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of politics with any sport, though, to be honest. But, it was good. I like to see some of the actors play a different kind of role in this movie, like Al Pacino. I don't think I've seen him in a football movie. I've only really seen him in gangster, so it was kind of cool to see him play a different role. And then all the other actors were pretty good, too. But yeah, I liked it.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad. First things first, it's awesome because Cecilia and I, of course, before we even met, she's very aware about Pacino and his role, of course, and I fully always admit that I have never seen Scarface, I know, and then I think she's seen it like one time, but it's funny because, I know I always admit that, and I didn't even see The Godfather until I met her, but it's just funny because you do always see Al Pacino in a gangster role. And I thought it was pretty cool, too, because I was like, babe, you're going to see Al Pacino playing something other than a gangster, and I want to get to that real quick. What do you think? What did you think about his acting playing a very stressed-out type of coach that's older? He's been in the game for 3 decades now as a coach. He's stretched thin. As apparently Cameron Diaz is his niece, she's the owner of the team. Just give him... Don't critique him, but, talk about your every thought on his role in that movie, and then how he played that role.
I thought his role was pretty cool. I think he portrayed a different kind of character in a different and good way. I liked it. It was nice to see. It was refreshing to see him playing a different role.
It really was, and he did really well. I thought it was great. This movie's 21 years old. No, 22 years old now. Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But back in 1999, of course, great movie directed by Oliver Stone. And I really enjoyed this movie because, I've seen it before, but as I've even told Cecilia, it's funny because the movie's so freaking long.
Mm-hmm, it is.
And it does kind of drag. Halfway through the movie, what did you tell me, babe?
I said, not trying to be mean, but this movie's kind of boring.
And, I'm not going to... Number one thing, I'm not going to take offense against anything. She would say that against really anything. Or especially a movie. But it's funny because I 100% agree with her. I love football. Football is something that I do. This is what I've done more than half of my life. But, it's crazy. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it just because this movie obviously had to do with more of the politics, and I'm not really a political person, so, I mean, I like to understand to a certain extent, but then once, it goes overboard, then I'm like, okay, I don't have my interest in it anymore.
And you know what? That's okay, because I'm the same, with this movie, I'm totally with it. Cecilia and I are not political people. That's something we're not politicians. We're not into that type of deal. I mean, it's hard enough.
Nothing against it.
Nothing against it.
No.
Absolutely. But when it comes down to it, and I know, okay, we're very proud Americans, but don't sit here and be like, oh, you're bad Americans. But we're not even into politics like in the country. Of course, we're getting to it slowly but surely, seeing, what benefits the greater good, benefits us, whatever it is, of course. But it's just, of course, a personal thing, a personal choice, not being into politics, but when it comes down to it, though, politics are everywhere, and especially in professional sports teams. And tonight was just, something that, once again, I've watched this movie maybe 4 times in my life, and it's funny because I have caught it halfway through almost every time, because sometimes I'll just be home, and it's on HBO, or, whatever. And also, I'll catch it from, the middle. I remember buying this movie back in high school. I don't even know why I bought it. I just bought it, and
probably because it has to do with football.
Yeah, I just thought it was going to be an awesome football movie, and it really is a good football movie. But once again, it goes so deep into the politics, where it's not that it takes away from football, but it gives you a lot more of what goes on behind the scenes. And let's just be real. Babe, what goes on behind the scenes is pretty ugly, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not the prettiest thing, and we understand that's the way politics are. But, when it comes down to it, it didn't ruin the movie, but I feel like it really does give you the full insight of what goes on. And it was really interesting every time to try to see that. But once again, going back to Cecilia's comment that movie was a little boring when we were halfway through the movie, it personally is a little boring, and I love football, but it's true. If you're somebody who just loves football and wants to watch a movie about football and enjoy the action and watch football, this movie isn't for you. Mm-hmm. But if you're somebody who really wants to know every aspect of a team, or at least a good amount of, the coaching / owner aspect and all the politics, then you're going to eat this movie up. This is an awesome movie. Great, they did a great job. Oliver Stone did a great job. But it's just, once again, and lots of action, lots of hits, lots of great stuff. But it's just, it drags on for so long. It goes into, it goes into the parties that these players have. Mm-hmm. The dirty stuff that goes on there as well, which I'm not going to even comment on. Neither of us are, but it goes into so much. And I just wanted to start with the first thing here. The head coach. Now that you have seen this movie, baby, is a head coach something you would ever want to be? Even if you were really into sports. Even if you were super duper crazy into sports. Seeing what Al Pacino went through tonight in that movie, is that something you would actually really want to do? A job you would actually really want?
If I was really, if I was an athlete myself, or just into into sports in general, probably not. That's way too much stress, and in my normal life, I can barely handle the stresses, so No, that's a job I definitely would not want to take on, because not only do you have to deal with your players, but you have to deal with the owner, and you hear a whole bunch of crud from everywhere, and I can't deal with that personally.
Me either.
I give props to the coaches who can deal with that kind of stuff in any sport.
I totally agree, baby. This sport, I mean, any sport, but I mean, my goodness, it's just insane to see how much goes on in the background. And of course, me as an athlete known for so long, well, of course, you're going to have all of this. Have I known about this already? Of course I do. But it's not just a head coach in football. This is a head coach in any professional sport.
I know, that's what I said, like in any sport.
Oh, no, I was going off what you were saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no. And Cecilia brought up an amazing point, because it's very true. You are going to get that in any sport if you're the head coach. Mm-hmm. Because guess what? If it's too, I mean, it's like being a chef at a restaurant. I know it's a bad analogy. But, the soup is too cold at table 7. Oh no, we got a complaint. Oh, hey, we got a compliment. Compliments to the chef on table 20. They did that steak was awesome. Hey, just so you know, the salads kind of suck, and you need to get your sous chefs in line because the salads are really wilty. We got 3 complaints already tonight. It's like,
yeah, it's basically you're having people tell you how to do your own job when you already know how to do it.
It's true, and it's like,
or just getting those critiques.
And isn't it something that the person that's supposed to be the head of the coaching staff, that's supposed to, you're in the professionals, you have to not only make the final cuts with your team when you're in training camp and everything. There's sometimes 75 or even more than that training camp. You gotta get your coaches together, make those final cuts. You have to be able to know what everyone is doing, not just your head coach, not just your coaches. Your coaching staff, you have to know what all the players are doing, the assignments. You have to know every single play. You have to know audibles. You have to know signals to give them. You got to make up the signals along with the other coaches. You have to hire your coaching staff. Okay, you've got to, number one, get hired. I mean, it's incredible the amount of things you must do. And then if you lose, guess what? It's all on you. Mm-hmm. And if you win, great job, coach. You could lose the very next week, and the people that loved you the week before now hate you and want your head. Mm-hmm. I mean, isn't that insane?
Yeah. Could you see yourself being a coach?
Golly, babe.
Knowing everything since you play and watching this movie, you kind of get a preview of what it's like, kind of.
You know, babe, that is a question that always got me. Last year, I did coach my first year in high school. Mm-hmm. Right before I met you. And, something? I'm okay. I felt that I did pretty okay.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like, high school coaches have it pretty hard too, huh?
Well, we're going to get to that in just a few minutes, because I think it's important to talk to everybody about that. But, babe, I'll be honest. If I don't coach ever again, I'm all right with that.
You're like, I've had my taste, I'm good.
It's true, because it's not that. And this is the sad part. And tell me, and I want you to tell me honestly, is it sad or is it life? Okay? And I know they could both be the same thing. But tell me this, okay? If you want to be successful and you want to build a help with a great team, you know where you got to go? To a good school. If you go to a good program that's already established, guess what? You're going to, number one, be fighting to get a job in there. You're not going to be varsity right away. You're going to be coaching freshman or JV to prove yourself that you're good to that program. And there's a chance you might not even get to varsity for years. And that's hours that you get put in. By the way, y'all, stipends are only about $3,000 that you get paid once a year. So all of the spring football and the summer football and the weight training and everything you go through with these kids, you don't get paid for that, sorry. At least from what I knew. So it's extra time. Okay, definitely extra time. And yes, it is a feel-good thing. It is a feel-good, yes, you're giving back to the kids and everything, but at the end of the day, it's just, if you're not well established, you know, and that's what I'm thinking, like with us right now, you know, we're just getting going. We're getting established. Everything's coming together by the grace of God. You know, everything has fallen into place for you and I, and it's continuing, but there's no way I would want to spend that much time away from you, or, you know, like, there's no way that I would want to spend that much time doing anything that doesn't make money. Number one, because right now that's the big thing, is we got to make sure that we're set. You know what I mean? We're doing our thing.
Well, most of those coaches too, right? Teach.
Most of those coaches are teachers.
Yeah. And
the other ones who don't, they work, of course, all throughout the day, and they do that. And you know, hey, if they got their kids and they're established, and let's say the wife works long hours, well, then screw it. They're doing, you know what I mean? Whatever, it is what it is. But it's something that I just don't see myself doing anymore. I mean, I did it once. It was cool. It was varsity. It was great. But unfortunately, you know, my old high school, we weren't, unfortunately, weren't too great. We only had, 17 kids on varsity. It was a really tough year, and I commend every one of those young men. They were good players. We had one young lady, too. Very good athletes. They were strong and tough, and you know what? I tip my hat to them, and I hope that every one of them go on to do very successful things in their lives. From the bottom of my heart, I hope that. And they are awesome kids, every one of them. But it's just, you know what, babe? I just don't see myself doing it anymore because of the fact that, once again, what, am I going to go back to my old high school and try to rebuild there, knowing that parents want to take their kids that live right there around the corner to the big, strong program that's 2 cities away, but they're using their uncle's address, you know what I mean, to live there, you know what I mean? So it's like, you're not even getting those big, tough kids. Everyone recruits, okay? The big, strong schools recruit, and the parents will move. Parents will literally move their families when their youngster goes to high school, so that way they can play for that big school and get it. And I don't blame those parents one bit. If they want to give their kid a chance, they want to put them somewhere where they can get a chance, where they can get looked at. Not some school that wins 2 games a year, you know? So it's like, I get it. So it's like, as a coach, what do you really do? You put in all that time, and it's like, what are you doing? Are you trying to help build a program by getting a reputation? You know how long that might take? It might take a long time. And at the same exact time, if you go to a big, strong, built-up school, it's going to take time for you to get up there anyway to the higher level to even coach. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like I don't know, is this something that I am okay not doing? You know?
At least you got to experience it.
I did, and it was fun, but at the end of the day, I'm still a player. You know what I mean? I'm playing semi-pro, I'm still loving it, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm playing as long as God lets me, you know? And of course, I mean, we're, you know, looking at that right now, and just, Cecilia and I talk about it all the time, don't we, babe? We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just turned 32, guys.
He's old.
I'm
just kidding.
I am. You know, I just turned 32 on Monday, and, you know, God has blessed me with so many years. I have played many more years than some of my peers did when I was in high school. And, you know, and this is by choice. This is semi-pro, you know, but I played in college, you know, and it was great. But, you know, Cecilia and I are trying to do our thing, and, you know, we settle down, and we're doing our thing, and we're living life. And, you know, I can't afford to take a hit and break a bone and be out for 6 weeks if I have a full-time job of holding up the house. You know? I mean, this is one of those things, and it's very true. So you gotta take those things into consideration. So, with that said, babe, what do you think about coaching? My personal opinion, well, I want you to know, but do you think it's just life? Or do you think it's sad that a coach has to either build reputation up, but takes many, or takes a little bit at the high school level to try and even make things happen, and it's going to take a long time, it'll take a little bit, or, you know, trying to build up your rep, or to try and go to a big, strong school where you might not even make it because, once again, the politics. What do you think? Is that sad, or is it life?
I feel like it's life. I mean, I feel like no matter what you do, you have to start from the bottom up. You have to work your way up to the top. I mean, no one gets there just like that. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you really want something, you really have to work hard at it. And that's everybody. Agreed.
And if you go to a smaller school that may not be the best, you might be on varsity. You know, you might get that big-time position. But guess what? It might be your first, second year or whatever. You still got to build a reputation to that school. Doesn't mean... And guess what? Even though you got the top of the position, your team's not the top. And if you go to a big school, big D1, D2, D3 school, guess what? You're going to probably start coaching freshmen. You know what I mean? So no matter what, it's still some kind of bottom. You know what I mean? Like, which is kind of sad. But at the end of the day, it is just life. And that's work. That's with anything. So, yeah. So with that said, into college now, babe. College football. The politics are real. Oh, especially when it gets to D1. Oh.
Well, yeah, because they're getting closer to playing for, like, the NFL and stuff like that. So they're being scouted for all of that. So I can understand where more of the politics would be more serious there as well.
Mm-hmm. You're a star running back. You gain 200 yards a game. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Okay, that's like Heisman Trophy kind of winning. 100 yards, let's say 100 yards a game. Okay, you are a star running back. You are great. And you're over at USC or UCLA or one of these big schools. Break something.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Next man up. And guess what? The guy behind you can probably do the same. He's probably really good too. And depending on the severity and when your return is, you might lose a scholarship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because of the what I can't remember.
NCAA.
Yeah.
And they might pull your scholarship because you're not helping produce no more. And that's it. So
I feel like they need to lighten up on their kids.
Oh yeah.
On the college kids. Yeah. I don't like them.
Yeah, Cecilia is not a fan of the NCAA, guys. Ever since the second episode, we talked about the young man who lost a scholarship at Baylor for the illegal benefits. Yeah. You guys remember that? Silas Nikita, or Nasita, I don't know how to say his last name, but he was awesome. Young man who went to Germany to play a couple years back. But yeah, so let's get to the chat room real quick, babe, and take a look and see what everyone says here. So what's going on, Taryn? Appreciate you. 5th episode. They grew up so fast. Thank you, Taryn. Big ups to you guys, by the way, both of you, man. Taryn in the chat room, he just finished an hour and a half of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show here on IE Sports Radio every Friday evening at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, earlier today, Andrew Hagenbaugh. Big ups to you, brother. 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. Cecilia and I were just getting settled in. We got our Jersey Mike sandwiches. Oh, they were delicious. And we got settled in. We were just getting settled in at that time, listening to a little bit of your show at the very beginning, man. But, of course, Andrew Hagenbaugh, you can catch him and the State of Ohio Sports here on iSports Radio every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So catch those two shows before this show, of course. Every Friday, except for last week, got a little bit of a late start, but every Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So, Taryn says here, knowing Larry, he's going to keep the NFL train going. Mm-hmm. And that, of course, is talking about football here on the show. But, yeah, of course. I mean, I'm always going to dip into it every now and then, but we're going to move on to our next sport coming up pretty soon, of course, according to the seasons. At least that's what I think Taryn says, or is trying to insinuate.
Yeah, it'd be good to learn different sports, not just football.
I mean, football is king. But there are other sports. But, so Taryn says here, Andrew says, hey, Larry and Cecilia, hope you guys have a great show. Thank you, Andrew. This is one of my favorite movies. Andrew, of course, saying about Any Given Sunday. Taryn.
I said cool.
Good movie, right? So, I mean, well, at least, once again, good parts. Overall, though, I'm kind of worried to see what Cecilia's final grade is in this movie, by the way, tonight. Taryn says here, Any Given Sunday. It sounds like something I always tell Larry every time an upset happens in the NFL. Well, that's where the phrase comes from, man. But he always finds ways to deflect that and not give credit when credit is due. But that's just my take. Well, Taryn likes to go heads up with me a lot, and I'll go heads up with anybody. Taryn's a great guy, and I love him. Great dude, but all at the end of the day is just a competitor in me. I will fight anybody, anytime. I don't care. So... It is what it is. I will freaking... It's just football. It's football. But no, absolutely, y'all. And I've played football for, like I said, I've played forever. I played for more than half my life. And I can tell you right now, yes, at any given Sunday or Saturday or Friday or Thursday, depending on what level you play on, or any given day, really. Because that's any sport. Any upset can happen. Anything can happen. So... with that said, well, like I said, that's all love, Taryn. You know, I love to have fun with you, man. But Andrew says here, hell, being an assistant coach in high school was stressful. LOL. And it's true. I mean, I was an assistant coach, and that was tough. It really was. It was tough. And Taryn says here in the chat room, assistant coaches, different pay, same stress.
Yep.
I completely agree with that, Taryn. Very well said. So, let's see here. I love what Taryn says here at the top. mine and Larry's debate over every other debate on TV. It's true. Taryn and I will have the best debates and then just hug it out at the end. Like, that was awesome. That's what it is. Taryn and I feel like resemble an actual football a football team inside of a podcast family, because once again, as we heard last week on Little Giants, I think we even heard it on the other high school movies, Friday Night Lights, and on When the Game Stands Tall. Football is just a big family. Mm-hmm. They get to hit each other. And that's kind of like Taryn and I. We'll go out there and dish it out and lay some hits. At the end of the day, you get up and you're still brothers.
Well, yeah, it was like that one time you told me the story the other day where you have a scar on your shin, and I think you said you were in high school. And you guys, like, in the moment of the game, you guys hate each other, but then you said at the end of the game, you hugged it out. So you guys have that kind of relationship, too.
We do. Should I share that real quick?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go quick.
Just try to make it short. I'm just kidding.
It's true. Everyone knows my stories take forever, so I promise I'll go short. I'll do my best. And every time I say that, it was like an hour. So, anyway, Cecilia knows very well. But, okay, so I'm going to try to do this short. I'm not even going to say that. Okay, screw it. Okay. Anyway, in high school, we played a team that was not a conference, a league game, but they were a team that we played every year in non-league. We couldn't stand them. They couldn't stand us. And they were a good football team. We were decent, and it was awesome playing them for 4 years. It was always game 2 of every year for my 4 years of high school, and it was a great battle we always had. The final game our senior year was amazing. We lost by a freaking point. Oh, it was so tough, but what a good football game. Anyway, in that game, this running back in high school was a big boy. He was my same height. I'm actually a little bit taller, 5'9", 5'10". He's a little bit taller than me. But boy, he was a bowling ball. He was about maybe 240 pounds. He's a big boy. Me, being 225 in high school, I was strong. But man, I was hitting him all game long, and he was like hitting a truck. I was hitting him and bouncing off and hitting him and taking him down. We had a good fight. But who had an even better fight was me and their tackle. And what ends up happening is, him and I noticed each other for 4 years. We played against each other for 4 years. Sometimes different positions, but we've seen each other, and we knew these guys. The only thing we didn't know were their names. And on a scouting report, they knew. I'm pretty sure they knew our names because we had their names on our scouting report. And in this game, okay, from the very start, lots of cuss words and lots of just inappropriate language, appropriate for the field. Cecilia's not happy about that. but we had just a lot of, I'm working on my language, guys. I promise I'm working on my language for her. Really am. But we had a really hard-fought game, and him and I went heads up every single play. He got me a few times, I got him a few times, flat-backed him, and then there was a point in the game where I was knocking the crap out of him. We flat-backed each other, but then during the middle of the game, like towards the end of the second quarter, I was laying the freaking wood. I was knocking the hell out of him from every angle, constantly driving him backwards, helmet to helmet, which I know isn't a very smart thing after seeing concussion. But, I was just hitting the crap out of this guy, and he was a big boy, okay? He was a very big, strong, tall tackle, and I'm playing defensive end. And the entire game, we're banging heads. And then, like I said, towards the end of the second half, towards the end of the first half, he starts getting tired. And I started just knocking the heck out of him. I started driving him back. I put him on his butt. And I just kept on trying to, just literally just wear him out and tear him down. Cut down the tree, And I was like, good. I love this. I love when coaches put in another player because I exhausted you. You know what I mean? So him and I were going at it, having words. And there was one play where the running back, it was a toss, and I engage, boom, smack helmets with him real quick. I get off of the tackle, and I chase down the running back to the sideline. I chased him all the way to the sideline, and he cuts back on a dime. This big boy cut back on a dime, and I turned around, and immediately, as soon as I turned around, that same tackle goes sprinting full speed at me and literally threw his body at my lower portion of my body. And he lunged at me, and that was a big boy, okay? He was huge. And he throws his body at me to, of course, freaking block me, but he was trying to lay me out. And I saw him, and thank God I had good reflexes in that moment, because I tried to jump over him. Unfortunately, though, I didn't jump high enough, and he was just too dang big. And his helmet caught my right shin, and he flipped me. And I went airborne, and I flipped, and I got up. I hit the ground hard, and him and I kept having words and everything. He cut open my shin. I have a scar on my shin. And I was cut open. I thought he cracked it, but thank God I was okay. I got some tape, and I went back in the game. I don't care what the trainer said. I was trying to play and beat him down. We go in the second half. We fight. Amazing game. We lost freaking 17-16 on a freaking 50-some yard kick. Amazing game, guys. But at the end of the game, we were going down the line, shaking it up. Good game. When I seen his big old self coming by, he grinned, I grinned. We grabbed each other, gave each other a big old hug. Man, good game, bro. Good game, man. Good game. It's just funny because the amount of language and you would swear that we were enemies, and if we saw each other in the street, we were going to throw down. Like, it was just ugly. But the moment the game was over, they won, they celebrated, we lost, it was painful. But at the end of the day, real recognizes real. And you know what? Iron sharpens iron, and we fought each other. We made each other better in that game, and I thought that was a great football game. But yeah, there I am, my busted open shin, but I didn't care. I was fine. I took the scar, and that's okay. I mean, I don't know if I gave him any scars, whatever, but we went at it. I got the best of him. He got the best of me. It was a great game. But as Cecilia says, that we told that story a couple days ago because she was like, we're looking at somehow my shin came up. I think we happened to see it. We were watching the movie and she sees the scar. And I told her the story of how that happened. But yeah, a great point though, babe, to bring up of like how that happens.
Yeah, you guys are like enemies on the field, but outside of the field, you guys can be friends.
It's so true. It is. So, like I said, though, I want you to take over the mic, though, baby. I want you to tell me. Now that okay, so first things first, let's go ahead and get to the movie real fast. We talked about the head coaching role. Would I ever want to be a head coach? Not really. There's too much stress.
Nor would I.
Exactly. Neither would she. Okay, guess what? In college, it's even worse. Because now you got to worry about, recruiting, okay? Now you got to worry about everything on top of high school with recruiting now. And now in professionals, now you got to worry about everything. You have to worry about recruiting, of course, drafting your players. You got to worry about everybody's salary. You got to worry about free agents. You got to worry about everything. On top of that, you got to worry about ticket sales and everything too. Because the minute you stop producing, the minute you stop putting butts in the seats, the owner comes down on you now. You know what I mean? So it's like everything. You're getting hit from every angle. So I want to know now that we've talked about football as a whole, babe, for the last couple of weeks, it's the 5th episode, and I started putting a lid on football tonight. I want to know, now that you've seen that side, well, every side, I think, of football, the glory you've seen for sure. You've seen the glory of it and all and everything. But I just want to know, give it to me. This is the big question of the night. What do you really think of this sport now that you've gotten this close to it? And following up with that, I'll let you answer that one first, and I'll give you the follow-up question right after. But what do you think about football as a whole now that you've seen these 5 movies?
I liked it. Or I like it. It has shined a new light on football, so I understand it a little bit more. I mean, obviously I can get better at understanding, but yeah, that'll take time. It's a hard sport, very intense. I can't believe how hard you guys hit each other. It's crazy. And yeah, the many possibilities of injuries is crazy. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. It's cool. Interesting. Intense.
I'll take that, and it is. And the next question is this a sport that you feel, you've said it before, you said that some people take it too serious.
Yeah.
And I think that could be any sport. But with how much goes into the sport, and with just the passion for it, I'm just going to sneak this one in there, this question, but do you kind of see the point of those people who just live and love the sport, much like how I do?
Yeah, I can kind of understand them, and I can kind of understand why they take the sport so serious, because it's the only thing that they've known. But they also have to know is that just because they live and breathe and basically eat this sport, it doesn't necessarily mean that their life is over. I
agree. Lawrence Taylor in the movie, the linebacker, who was the hard-hitting linebacker who was injured. Remember the linebacker in the game? The guy who they told he had to sign the waiver? Remember when he saw Jimmy Fox in the steam room? I love what he told him. Because Jimmy Fox, of course, it was going to his head. and he was a younger player, 26 years old. And then Lawrence Taylor's character, I forgot his name in the movie, but he's a little bit older. And Lawrence Taylor was an actual NFL, he was an actual linebacker, like in the NFL. And they got him to play that role. But, I love what he told him, though. He says, a man, when he gets to a certain age, a man needs to be able to look back and be proud of everything he's done. Not just what he's done in pads. And you know what? That even hit me, because I didn't never even realize that line. I told you guys, I watched this movie a couple times, and I still haven't caught everything, because there's just so much there, and honestly, it does get kind of boring after a while. It really does. So, but hearing that tonight, I believe that's so true. I mean, no matter how great you are at your sport, if you're a legend, you're a Hall of Famer, that can change your life, but no matter what, just you as the person, there's so much more to life than that. And I feel like it's true. Like, don't you think? What did you think about what LT said? What Lawrence Taylor said, that it's also about what you do outside the lines, basically.
Yeah, I think what he was basically saying was what I was saying, is that there's more to football than just that. That, I mean, you can find other new hobbies, or find a whole new life or something, or maybe give time to your family or something.
I completely agree. And football is awesome. We love it. I love it. I hope you're starting to love it. It's a great sport.
Or they can even possibly become a coach. I mean, they don't fully have to give football up.
It's true. We also saw in this movie, we saw a quarterback who was up there in age at 38 years old, who, was pretty much getting ready to call it a career, I think. Even Cameron Diaz, is the owner of the team, wanted him to take a seat. We have a player that's 44 or 45 years old on Sunday getting ready to go to battle again for his 7th Super Bowl title, Tom Brady, playing for the Buccaneers. And he's in great shape. He's kept himself in great shape. He's doing great things. But there's just that certain point where, you know what, you have nothing else to prove anymore. You've done your thing, and sometimes your body's just like, hey, you know what? That's it. That maybe you should call it a career. So what do you think about when it comes to that certain age? What do you personally think?
I don't really think it's about the age, because, like you said right now, what's his name? Tom Brady. He's 48.
45.
45. I mean,
sorry. That's old. He's officially now the oldest player to ever play. No, not oldest player, but the oldest quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, to actually play in a Super Bowl. He might be the oldest quarterback, I think, to keep on playing, if I'm not mistaken. But he's up there. I can't believe it.
But yeah, I think to me, age is just a number. I think it's just on how well you take care of your body. And when you get injured, you make sure you take the time to, take care of yourself and heal fast and be patient with your body. But, you'll know, basically. Your body speaks to you. When you know it's time, then that's when you should actually, retire, because I feel like if you don't, then I feel like that's an injury waiting to happen.
It is. Our bodies don't heal as good as they used to when we get to our late 30s and early 40s. So I'm playing as long as the good Lord lets me play, and if He gives me a sign to give it a to call it a career, coming soon. We've already talked about it. Like I said, I may have maybe a few years, maybe a year left. But all I know is Cecilia and I are doing our best. Doing our thing, trying to have a family, enjoying ourselves, and however long God has for me to play football is however long that will take. And there we go. So real fast though, we also have the role of Cameron Diaz. I like what you said about her in the movie.
Why?
I guess want to discuss that real fast.
I like Cameron Diaz, don't get me wrong. I like her as an actress. But I think maybe I couldn't... I don't know. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Obviously, this was a different role, at least for me, to see her in. I don't think I've ever really seen her play in a serious role before. And it just seemed kind of off to see her serious. Like, it didn't fit her. Like, I feel like... I mean, I'm pretty sure she can get angry, but she just didn't seem... Like, she didn't have that persona of getting angry in the movie.
And she was getting pretty angry in the movie.
No, she was.
But it's just...
But it just seemed kind of funny.
It's like seeing Carlton play another role. No matter what, Alfonso Ribeiro is Carlton. You know what I mean? So it's kind of messed up, but it's like, I get it. You've seen them play that role. Maybe that's a little bit different because that was like a one-time role throughout years of a sitcom. But it's true. You usually always see Cameron Diaz play something kind of funny, quirky, kind of like, and this was a very serious, fiery, strong type of role that... Not saying she's not strong, because she definitely pulled it off. She pulled it off. But...
No, I have nothing against her. It was just different to see her in this kind of role. It didn't quite fit her, but she made it work,
Absolutely. Completely agree. And then, of course, we talk about the team itself. We have the youngster who got in, who got drafted in the 7th round, was around a journeyman basically around 4 different teams, gets his chance, throws up multiple times every time he got in because the butterflies got to him. I mean, this young guy, and then out of nowhere he starts getting good, and the fame gets to his head.
Yeah, that's sad to see.
As I was telling Cecilia during the movie, that happens more times than you think.
And I don't doubt that. It's just sad that it gets to people's head just because of the fame, the lights, the glitz, the glamour, the name, the big name. But if they really think about it, God forbid something happens to them, all that can go away.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't really know who their true friends are because they've pushed all their real friends or even their family away.
Absolutely. And then you have a player like LL Cool J that was the serious, strong player who was very into his team, loved his team, but then he even had a little issue himself where he was trying to do too much. He showboated that one time, ended up fumbling the ball and losing the game for them. Mm-hmm. That happens more than you think too, babe.
Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of normal in a way. I think where some teammates just get jealous of one another, so they're like, well, I can do better than them. Which, I mean, you're a team. You're supposed to, you're all equals. I know they all play different positions, but still, it's not like one's better than the other. I mean, everyone has different skill sets, yes, but you can't always match those ones, and you shouldn't have to compete against your own teammates.
And unfortunately, that happens all the time.
And it's sad, because they're supposed to work together as a team, not be against each other. And especially if they want to win. Agreed.
And what happens? They end up getting in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you say the minute they got into a fight?
I don't remember.
You don't remember what you said?
No.
You're like, they're on the same team!
Oh, yeah.
I mean... And I have to look this up real quick because I don't want to ruin this. But I really don't. I don't. So, I'm going to get this. I got this. I just literally Googled this. But Al Pacino says here that gentlemen, and either way, we heal now as a team or we die as individuals. In his speech. And that was one of the best speeches I've ever heard because he literally gave them a piece of his life. Told them, I've made more mistakes than any middle-aged man could ever make. I screwed off my money. I did a lot of... He said, basically a lot of things he's not too proud of. But you know what? He's still there. And he's trying to do his best to make the right decisions now. And, he gave them a piece of his personal life. And you know what? If anything's going to motivate you before a game, it's a real true story. It's a real true something. Mm-hmm. And wouldn't you know, it's their very own coach who gave them a piece of his life. And a lot of coaches will do that. Because, and that motivated Jamie Foxx to go over to LL Cool J and shake hands. And they were like, we're good. And they got down. And they won that game. And what happens at the end of the game? LL Cool J... It was a pitch. Jamie Foxx goes out with 9 seconds to go in the game. Jamie Foxx runs. It was it looked like an option actually, which you don't even see in college football. But he pitched it out. I mean, in professional football you don't see that, but he pitches it out after when he gets hit like an option. And the LL Cool J runs up the sideline. And what happens with 4 seconds on the clock? There was no timeouts left. If he would have cut to the inside to try and win the game, he could have gotten tackled. The clock runs out. They would have lost. But what does he do? He runs out of bounds, and he was unselfish. And you even see Al Pacino as he says it too. I think he says something like, "That's right, way to be unselfish." Or
yeah, he did say that.
I mean, what do you think about that though? The demeanor of LL Cool J even changing himself, saying, "You know what? This is bigger than me. It's for the team."
Yeah, exactly, and that's how it should be. So yeah, that was good on both their ends.
It really was. So that was pretty awesome. So, and then of course, so that we had the different dynamics, different aspects and everything. We even saw the reporters in that movie, what they go through, trying to report, even getting hit by coaches. Just kidding. Sorry, Al Pacino. But, like all these different things going on. But let's take a quick look back here at the chat room now. Andrew Hagen says, Andrew Hagenball says here, being a head coach is super stressful. All eyes are on you. The stress, while owners' assistants get away easily.
Yep.
Couldn't agree more. Terrence says, coaches take the heat when the team loses, but get hardly any credit when the team wins. And that's true, too. They'll get props, but not a whole bunch. Andrew says here, I remember this of Silas to Baylor, who got his scholarship revoked.
Oh.
Remember that? Yeah, I'm telling you guys, if you really want I don't know if there's any other YouTube videos on him, but Flemlo Raps, man, does an incredible job talking about Silas and Nikita, and just what a touching story, and I'm so glad it worked out for him playing in Germany, but yeah, just what a story. But Andrew says, I know he made a YouTube channel with former U.S. quarterback Connor, so remember him. He's when they played pro in Germany. Both still make videos, and they're bad. Well, damn, that's it says here. Mine and Larry's debate, or everyone else's debate on TV, absolutely. Also says, at the end of the day, winning is everything. Eating is. Taryn, you and I can definitely agree. There's no debate there, Taryn. You're absolutely right. And then Pierre Mosk, jumping in the chat room, by the way. Perfect way to end Friday evening. Well, he's listening at 11 p.m. Eastern time right now over there in New Jersey. So big ups to Pierre Mosk. I want to throw some light on his new show. And this is pretty cool. This is pretty neat here. I want to read this tweet because I think they got something good going as well, and I like this aspect. I like this. Okay, so welcome to Sports Tea on Wellington Sports Radio, one of our sister networks. This is our brand new show. Our brand new sports gossip show is sure to be wild and unpredictable as the sports world can be. Tune in today at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if this is it or not. Please forgive me, because I don't know, but I think this is actually Pierre and his wife starting their own show now.
Awesome.
Pretty cool, right? So,
yeah.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure. 'Cause I remember seeing her in the chat room a long time ago when Pierre was still the Jersey guy on Mixer.com. So, but yeah, that's him. I don't think it's another couple, and if it is, my apologies. But I think it's Pierre and his wife. But regardless, awesome stuff there. And I look forward to hearing that. I want to hear the replay of that, and we'll check that out for sure, because it's always fun. Hey, couples in sports, I think it's pretty cool. What do you think, babe? 5 episodes in? What do you think?
No, I'm just kidding. It's really fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Me too, baby. This is a lot of fun. We really enjoy it. But I'll tell you right now, this has been a wild ride throughout football season. So, with that said, first things first, I want to know, what is your, and I'm kind of a little worried about this. We gave, or I haven't given any grades. I guess I've been asking Cecilia.
Yeah.
But she gave Friday Night Lights an A in the first show. Then in the second show, she gave When the Game Stands Tall an A+. That's the only A+ she's given.
Nuh-uh, Concussion.
Oh, Concussion. The very next week, she gives Concussion an A+. The next week after that, even as a early childhood development major,
you can't hold that against me.
she gives Little Giants an A. Not an A+, just an A.
You be quiet.
And tonight, well, you already heard her comment that it was kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
She gave it its price. But I want to know, what is your final grade on any given Sunday?
A B.
A B?
Yeah.
Okay, explain why you gave it a B.
Because, it was good. It was nice to see the politics in the movies, kind of, sort of, ish. Just to understand the more of, what goes on behind the scenes, basically. And, yeah, I mean, other than that, it was good. I mean, it was okay. And then, obviously, seeing the actors and actresses who played in the movie to play a different kind of role was cool, too. But, yeah, I would have to give it a B.
You know, I'm going to agree with you on that. I'm going to give it a B. Football management-wise, absolutely an A. if you're somebody who's just really into that side of football and sports. But once again, if you're just looking at, you want a good solid football movie that's really all about football and just a little bit of the politics, but more football, you're going to probably want to watch another different movie.
Yeah.
But Terrence says, any given Sunday equals, I see another loser. He's like, no, he says, just kidding, not a loser.
No.
B's are good, just not as good as A's.
Yeah.
And absolutely. You know, I gotta say the same thing. I mean, in my overall grades, my goodness, I want to give every one of them an A+. But now that we wrapped it up in football season, at least till now, I've definitely got to say that any given Sunday, I got to agree with Cecilia. It's an A. It's not a movie that I would watch if it was on again. You know, it's something that if it's on, I'll watch it. But I've seen it too many times, and I'll just I'll pass. When the Game Stands Tall, definitely an A+.
I would watch that again.
I kind of wouldn't, honestly. If it was on, like, right now on TV and it was on, yeah, maybe we'll watch it. But, like, let's just say it's a day where, you're getting ready and I haven't been on my way yet. Or if I got home and, it's time to turn on the TV and, I just want to watch something while I fall asleep or whatever. It's nothing that I would just put on. I enjoy the story. I love it. The story behind the movie is amazing. It's a true story. I love Coach Laddister is an amazing gentleman, amazing man. Okay, a God-fearing man. Okay, who really made good, strong young men, in my opinion. Also, Coach, and I'm not. Oh my gosh, starts with an E, but his assistant coach, great man. I mean, really, when it came down to it, this team was amazing. And I'm not gonna slight him. I must find his name right now, and I don't even care. I don't even care if it takes me a few minutes. Okay, because this right here these two coaches were absolutely amazing. And once again, Robert Laddiser and his assistant coach that he coached with, and I am still trying to find it, but I'll tell you right now, while I'm still trying to find it, the man was a legend. He did his absolute best when he came back from a heart attack. I mean, just an amazing thing. Coach Edison, I believe. Edison. Eidson. Those two coaches were absolutely incredible. Fighting back from a heart attack from one, the other one taking over. Just them two, just from being great friends. Just amazing job there. A+. Once again, though, if it's on again and Cecilia's, not around, she's at work or whatever. I mean, it's a movie that I could see again. But it's just, I'm not going to sit here and just watch it again by myself. I mean, it's cool. But with her, definitely, we'll watch it. If it's on right now, after the show, we'll watch it again because it's cool. Yeah, it's a great movie. But once again, these movies, I've just seen them and I kind of just know the story. Concussion, that's another movie I really wouldn't care to watch 100% again. But that I feel is an A for me, not an A+, because it's kind of scary.
I think I would watch it again just because you know how you only see a movie once. You kind of miss a lot of the little details. Yeah. You can pick up more.
Yeah, I could see that. Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, that one was a good movie too.
It was a good movie. And I mean, I could watch it too just to get more of and then Little Giants, I don't have to see it again either. I can, if it's on, I might, but then again, I wouldn't really, And then the same thing for tonight's movie, Any Given Sunday. I've seen it too many times already, and I still think it's kind of boring every time, but I just enjoy the football in it. But if it's on again, I'm definitely not going to watch it.
I don't think I will watch it again.
Yeah, so there you go. But, so my grades, so Cecilia's grades and my grades together. Cecilia gave Friday Night Lights a I'm going to give it an A. When the Game Stands Tall, A+ is for most. Concussion, she gave it an A+, I'm going to give it an A. It was a great movie. Okay, I'll give it an A+.
You were just a scaredy cat, that's all.
Okay, you know what?
Just kidding. You don't have to change your answer. Keep it.
But you know what? I will give it an A+, because I thought about this right now, too, immediately. It's so informative. Mm-hmm. And, I think it's good for athletes to see this. Because...
yeah, they should make it a must.
Yeah, because, you know what? It's just... Number one, be careful. Not everything is going to protect your head. but do your best. Because sometimes...
No, but you can understand the precautions of it all.
Absolutely. And we can damage ourselves by leading with our head or using our head as a weapon or, like, you know, like, sometimes you just get hit in the head because you get hit in the head, but sometimes you bring it on yourself to use your head as a weapon. So, you know, like, especially in football. So, I mean, you know, that... So, yeah, I give that an A+. Little Giants, I like the movie a lot. I'm going to give that an A-. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It's a fun little cute movie. But at the end of the day, it just, you know, it's kids. And I feel like you've seen the politics in it and everything, but it's something that once again...
It's a cute little movie, basically.
It is. You can see it once, but And Any Given Sunday, guys, I really like it. It's a good movie. But I'm going to give that one... I'm going to go... I don't know. I'm going to go B as well. I would like to go a little lower because it's kind of... But at the same time, it does give you a good mix of football in there along with the politics. So, yeah. So, other than that, I mean, I just had to be different than Cecilia on one grade, I guess. But, I mean, with Little Giants, I thought it was great. But once again, it's just a one-time watch kind of, and then you're kind of good. You don't need to see it again. You're not going to gain too much from it if you're a football fan, at least. But it was a little cute movie. But regardless, though, guys, that right there was, you know, pretty much a little wrap on football. And there you have it. So, babe, I don't know if you heard about it, but there's this big game coming up this weekend.
No, I haven't heard about it.
No, you never heard of it? Well, Sunday, we're actually going to have ourselves, you know, a cool little... I mean, I don't know if you know, babe. We are actually, you know, we're having a little get-together as well. Just, you know,
yeah?
For the family. Yeah, cool, right? Cool, right? Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fun.
Should be fun, Coming up this weekend, we are super excited for it. Cecilia, I'm actually really excited because she said that, you know, not that she's jumping for joy or anything, but I think it's pretty cool because what she told me the other day was really cool. She said that she's excited to see the game because she actually kind of understands it better now.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. No, you know, she's not sitting here saying, oh my gosh, I can't wait to sit here and scream at the TV or be all excited or be super into the game or watch every freaking second of it. But it was just really cool to hear her have a different perspective from when we started the show, number one. And then even 2 weeks in, we're watching the College National Championship after our very first show. When we were watching the College Football National Championship where Alabama dominated Ohio State. Even from that day where I was explaining everything to her, like on the field, and we were getting more into it. She's seen a couple of movies now. I mean, would you say you're a little more excited to see this game than that game now?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Right? It's a little, you know, because it's cool because you had to see one game in action at the college level. These guys are going to be going to the NFL, a lot of those guys. And now you're seeing the best of the best in the NFL. And this is it. So now you got Super Bowl, and it's over. This is it. These are 32 teams that went to training camp in August. Okay? Went to training camp, left their families behind for 20-some days or whatever. Freaking, you know, saw them, but, you know, went 2 days, worked hard all through the summer, played the season, had an incredibly tough season, played 16 games all the way from September to December, fought through the playoffs, as we have been talking about this past month in January, and now here it is, the pinnacle. It started out as 32. And now, just 2 remain. And pretty cool. We got some cool storylines. Look at Tom Brady, baby. Be honest, and this is such a, not that you wouldn't be honest, but this is such a big topic right now. But Tom Brady has been to 9 freaking Super. This is his 10th Super Bowl.
Dang.
He's been to more Super Bowls than any quarterback ever. I think any player ever in history of the NFL. He is, I don't care, some people say Joe Montana from the Niners back in the 90s. And you know what, you have your argument, but in my opinion, Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, okay? Absolute greatest of all time. The man has 6 rings. If he wins another one on Sunday, that'll be his 7th Super Bowl freaking ring. And he's 45 years old. He has played longer than, like, almost everybody. He's like Bartolo Colon in baseball. The guy was like, he's like 48 years old and he's still pitching in the MLB. Like,
wow.
But Tom Brady is up there in age. The man keeps on fighting, and he just feels young. He's playing young. He may not be as fast as he once was, but he's got a freaking arm. And I just wanted to clarify really quick. I'm sorry, not 45. He's 43. My apologies.
Oh, 43.
But he's
So
43.
he's a little younger.
But my goodness, he's 43 freaking years old. Baby, if he wins, if his Buccaneers and him, because of course the team, okay, if they win, the Buccaneers win on Sunday, do you think he should just say, you know what? It's been a great career, and now I'm going to enjoy my millions with my wife and my family and enjoy my life. Do you think he should come back and play another year to see if we can win number 8? What do you think?
I mean, it's not really up to me. I feel like it's however he feels, like what his body is telling him, and what his wife, what they both agree on.
Very true.
So if he comes back for another year, then so be it. Hey, that would be awesome. He, like you said, he'll be the oldest one, but obviously it goes to show you age is just a number, and he's obviously taking really good care of his body. So his body's probably feels really young. So yeah. He's
definitely doing a great job. It's true. It's whatever him and his wife, whatever they decide. But yeah, Terrence's Chiefs are winning on Sunday. Well, we know what Terrence taking. But with that said, we should have ourselves a pretty good little fight tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern. You can catch me, your boy Larry B, right here on iSports Radio on StreamYard as we get ready to talk about the Super Bowl. And how are we going to do it? With a primetime face-off. We're going to have some fun tomorrow. We're going to have TJ back on air, of course, talking about his Bucks. We will have, of course, Dave Friedman back on the air. Here is going to be a primetime face-off to remember. Our first Super Bowl primetime face-off in person, of course, on StreamYard. Don't want to miss it. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun, hour-long show. Go and vote, y'all. Go to the voting poll. It is pinned at the top of the page right now. Cast your vote for who you think is going to win. Super Bowl 55 coming up. The voting results will be in tomorrow by 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And, well, that's when we will crown the winner of the primetime face-off. But that won't even do it, because Sunday, of course, will be the real crowning of the champ. And we shall see. So, cast your votes and let us know. And by the way, while Terrence says I was hoping for Dontarius versus Dave for the face-off, just so you know, Terrence, we're going to have about 4 people each team. So, Dontarius, I hope he'll be there too. But TJ's pretty cool. Yeah, TJ's awesome. But with that said, we're going to have some fun with that. But Cecilia already picked her winner due to the jerseys a couple weeks ago. And, well, the Chiefs wearing their red and white that you have chosen are in it. And they're facing the pewter. The red and pewter team, Tom Brady's team.
Are they going to be wearing that color tomorrow?
They're going to be wearing... usually the team who has the most victories, the team that's done the best this year, will wear their home jerseys. While the team who has... the team who didn't have as high as a record will wear their away jerseys. So, if that's the truth this year, which that usually always is, Tampa Bay will be wearing their white uniforms, and the Chiefs will be wearing their traditional red on white uniforms. So, if that's the case, the Buccaneers will be wearing, let me get on over, wearing these all whites right here with the pewter helmet.
And it doesn't look bad on the helmet.
And the red numbers, but the jerseys look ugly, huh? Yeah. And then they'll be facing the Chiefs in their all reds. And their classic red on white. And let's go ahead and get this over here. Kansas City Chiefs. Google. And here we go, where the Chiefs will be wearing these. The red with the white pants.
Oh, okay. That's not bad either.
Right there. So, based on the uniforms alone, you already picked the Chiefs. Who are you taking?
Who am I taking?
Who are you taking? Based on the uniforms alone, I want to know who you're taking, and then we're going to get a little more in depth with it.
I don't know. I think the all red one.
You like the Chiefs uniforms still? Okay. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some different stories, scenarios. Okay, now I want to really kind of help out with the scenarios of this game. On the Buccaneers side, you have Tom Brady. He was with the Patriots since 2001. He was a 6th round draft pick out of 7 rounds. Basically somebody that's like, I guess we'll take him. You know what I mean? turned out to be the greatest quarterback of all time. Mm-hmm. He's been to freaking 9 Super Bowls. This will be his 10th Super Bowl on Sunday that he's appeared in. Okay? But what's cool about Tom Brady this year? He's won 6 of them. But what's so cool about it this year? He's not in New England no more. Him and New England severed the ties last year. Everyone said that without Coach Belichick, he would fall on his face. He's a system quarterback. You can't just plug him in anywhere. He's only good in that system with the Patriots because that's all he's ever played for. Mm-hmm. And he's not good anywhere else. He goes somewhere else, he's going to suck. Well, the Patriots, guess where they are? Didn't make the playoffs for the first time. He hasn't been there. And where's Tom Brady? In another uniform, getting ready to play his 7th Super Bowl.
I feel like that's karma. They doubted him.
I had to ring the sound effect, because, yeah. Everyone said that Tom Brady's not the greatest of all time. And
he proved them wrong.
He sure did. At 43 years of age, that young man, at 43 years of age, that young man's going into battle in just 48 hours, so actually a little bit less than that now, but he's going into battle with a brand new team, not wearing that same jersey that he was, known as the greatest of all time playing for him. And, well, guess what? Now he's playing there. On top of that, on that offensive line, you know how cool this is? On that offensive line? I love this offensive line. This is my favorite, the big fat people that I'm always talking about. That offensive line is one of my all-time favorites in the NFL. Actually, it's my favorite in the NFL because of this reason. Okay? And I'm gonna break it down real quick. I want to go to depth chart real fast and check it out. And I want everybody to know why I really, really do like this offensive line so much. Okay. Left tackle, Donovan Smith. He's a big boy. 6'6", 338 pounds, out of Penn State. Guess what? You'd expect him to be there. He's out of Penn State. He played at a big-time Division I school. He's a big boy. Good for you, sir. Left guard, Ali Marpet. 6'4", 307 pounds. Out of Hobart College. Hobart College. You have Division I Single A. The guys who are going to the NFL, basically. You have Division I Double A. Who could go to. They're still pretty damn good. Division I. Then you have Division II. Not a lot of scholarships. And, maybe you make it, maybe you don't. Big possibility you don't. And then Division III, this is also where I played, which is basically, guess what? Division III is known as the fun division in the NCAA, the lowest, and guess what? These guys are just playing another 4 years of high school, and every now and then one gets through the cracks and goes to the NFL, but you're kind of just looked at like, it's not really major football. Hobart is a Division III school. And Ali Marpet was drafted, and he's starting now for the freaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers blocking for Tom Brady.
Cool.
Okay. Ryan Jensen. Okay, another big boy here. Okay. He's out of Colorado State. Oh, sorry. Colorado State Pueblo. Division II school. Okay. And then, of course, Aaron Stinney, I believe. He's out of James Madison. Double A school. And then you have Tristan Wirfs. Single A. Big time out of Iowa. And he's a rookie, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, the only players that are literally like, oh yeah, they should have gone to the NFL because they played for single A big time schools are the left tackle and the right tackle. The 3 guys in the middle all played for a lower division and they freaking made it to the NFL. And not only did they make it, they're starting. And not only are they starting, they're in a Super Bowl. And not only are they in the Super Bowl, they're blocking for the greatest quarterback of all time.
See, that just goes to show you that they worked hard and they proved that they are worth being on the NFL. And just because they went to a bad school doesn't mean anything.
Is that not feel good to you?
Yeah.
It's like a feel good, huh? That's a feel good story, right?
Yeah,
like
because they proved everyone wrong.
They sure did. And I thought that, you know what, yeah, that's a great feeling, okay? Then You also have, I mean, just the stories that go into this. I don't know everybody's story on here. But yeah, I mean, looking at this team, I mean, that right there is just awesome enough, okay? And then you have Tom Brady, of course, doing his thing, you know, being a monster. But my gosh. And then on the other side of this, the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? How cool is this? The Kansas City Chiefs roster, of course. Andy Reid, Coach Andy Reid, these guys, he never won a Super Bowl in his life until last year. He has been to the Super Bowl one time in 2005, didn't make it. He's one of the best coaches that never made it. Last year, he finally got one. Played with a quarterback who was incredibly talented in Patrick Mahomes. Nobody even knew who he was coming out of college out of Texas Tech. What happens? He's freaking amazing, and he made it. Okay. Then you have a young man, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who won a national championship last year at LSU in college. So he won that game that we watched where Alabama dominated. 2 years ago, LSU, Louisiana won it.
Mm-hmm.
He won a championship in college, went to the draft, got drafted, went to the Chiefs, and then won a Super Bowl the very next year. All he does is win. That's it. T-Pain all day. I mean, how amazing. This young man has done great things, okay? And you just look at some of these feel-good stories. I mean, it is awesome. But the big one is just Patrick Mahomes. No one even knew who the heck this guy was. And he, just like Tom Brady, came into the NFL and became this overnight freaking star. And now he is the highest-paid quarterback in the league. Okay?
Wow.
Last year, after he won the Super Bowl, I think as a rookie or a second year, let me take a look at let's take a look at his paycheck right now, because I want to bring up his contract and how valuable the Chiefs feel that he is, okay? This is what Patrick Mahomes signed a couple years ago, okay? His deal, and this is absolutely incredible, because I just want to... Okay, where's it at? Patrick Mahomes' contract. He signed 10 years, $450 million.
Wow. That's crazy.
For 10 years. His contract, his signing bonus was 10 freaking... I mean, that is incredible. 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Signing bonus. To sign a paper, he made that much money. I mean, incredible, right? Mm-hmm. 10 years. But that right there, his contract is ridiculous.
Yeah,
okay?
That's crazy.
Ridiculous. $63 million is already guaranteed. He's making baseball player money. Okay? That is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
That right there goes to show you how awesome. Okay? How awesome is that? I'll tell you right now, if that's not a feel-good story for that young man,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to make it, no one even knew who he was. No one knew who he was coming out of college. But he's here.
Started from the bottom and now? Oh, no, he's
it.
here.
There you go. That's it. That's it.
My intention, but yeah.
We're making them hip-hop references tonight, y'all. But Terrence says here, I remember when you said primetime face-offs were going to count. I presume that doesn't matter now because of COVID and whatnot. Absolutely, Terrence. They were going to count, and then COVID came along and said, we don't even know if there's going to be an NFL. And then, yeah, they said, you know, you're not going to work no more. How do you like that? So, yeah, all kinds of crap happened past year. But next year, we'll get to them counting and lots of things. So let's just hope and pray that things go smooth this coming year. Trust me, IE Sports Radio will be better than you guys have ever imagined it, listeners, and, of course, to all of our colleagues here. But with that said, so many awesome feel-good stories in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So now, based off of what I just said, uniforms, you're picking the Chiefs because you like their red.
Yeah.
But now that I've mentioned a couple feel-good stories on each team, now which one pulls the heartstrings the most?
Both.
Both?
I don't know.
We're talking about a young man who, no, like I said, once again, nobody knew who he was. Overnight phenom. Another young man who came in, and now he has the highest pay crack in the NFL. Another young man came in last year, and he helped them get there again. He won a championship last year in college. He got in, and now he's playing for another championship this year. Okay, that is incredible.
Yeah.
And guess what? And then that's the Chiefs. On the other side, you have 43-year-old Tom Brady, who's playing for his 7th Super Bowl, proving all the doubters wrong, that he's not a system quarterback, that he can go without the Patriots.
Yeah.
Okay? And blaming it on his wife, saying... I think her name's Janelle, because she's actually a supermodel.
Oh, really?
And It's her fault. She wants to move. It's her. You know how many times I've heard that? It's her. She's the one who made him leave the cold. She doesn't want to live in the cold anymore. She wants to live in the heat. She wants to live in the sun. That's where they want to go down to Tampa Bay, Florida. She's the one who made him go. She's the one who made him go. She's the one who made him go. And every man, of course, and let's be real here. Let's be real. Let's go ahead and take a quick little reality check. Every man will listen to his wife. Let's just be real. That's all there is to it. There's no going back on it. Whatever Cecilia says goes. That's all there is to it. Men, don't even lie if you're listening, guys. Don't even play with me. You know. So, a lot of people said that.
Well, they can't just blame her.
Well, a lot of people said, oh, it was her fault. She wanted to get out of the cold. She wanted to get out of the cold. She wanted to get out of the cold. So
it was obviously an agreement that they both probably discussed between each other, and that's between them. Who cares what other people says? I feel bad for her.
Sad, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, so guess what? They packed their bags and left. And Tom Brady, at 43 years old, everyone talked about how he's going to fall on his face, how he's just washed up, he's old, he's not going to get to another bowl. He can't do it without Bill Belichick, of course, in my opinion, the greatest coach of all time. And they will always be the greatest coaching tandem, head coach, quarterback tandem. I mean, they played together. He was his quarterback. Bill Belichick, head coach of the Patriots. Tom Brady, quarterback of the Patriots. 2001. And guess what? They won freaking 6 Super Bowls together in 2 decades. That's unheard of. But guess what? Now that Tom leaves, now he's not going to be anything without him. Well, guess what, Patriots fans? The freaking Patriots didn't make the playoffs for the first time since 2001.
Yeah, he proved them wrong. It's like what my cousin Carol says. I think she heard it from her pastor or something, but like, out of every disappointment, some good comes out of it. So like, even though they probably heard all these negative comments, he had good come out of it because he proved them wrong. You know, that he is a better player with and without the other team.
I love the comment. And this is for you, Carol, by the way. I saw she liked this, so big ups to you. Bring the cowbell for her tonight. Absolutely. That is a great way of putting it. It was disappointment, but something great came out of it. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you know, they split. The no more Patriots and Brady. But what I loved is the fact that, even though I'm a Bill Belichick fan too, but they couldn't get anything together this year, and they missed the playoffs for the first time in freaking crap since Tom Brady. I don't know, it was like 2000 and I forgot, but like since Brady was basically there in the early 2000s. Now Brady is suiting up in the pewter and red, or whatever you want to call that colors for the Buccaneers, and he got them back to Super Bowl for their first time since 2003 when they killed my Raiders in that Super Bowl. Super Bowl 37, I'll never forget it. But that was incredible, and you know what? I am so proud of Brady. So you have him, and then you have those 3 linemen in the middle who played for schools where they're not supposed to go to the NFL because they're just playing lower division football. Guess what? All 3 of those guys made it, and they're starting.
Mm-hmm. It sucks too how people go just by the name or titles. And it shouldn't be about that. Sports are supposed to be about the skill and how great people play at that sport.
I agree.
And it shouldn't be about titles.
I completely agree. So, now that you have heard... I completely agree. Now that you've heard the stories, at least a couple stories feeding into them, I'm sure there's plenty more feeding into this. Now, based off of what you heard, you gotta pick one team. You gotta pick one. You gotta pick... Look, you pick...
They all have good stories, man. Why are you making me pick? That's torture.
You pick the Chiefs because they're red. You love red, it's your favorite color. But now, going off of... You can pick either team, too. It doesn't matter. But pick one based off of those ties now. Those feel-good stories, those deeper ties. Who would you rather see Sunday, hoist that Lombardi trophy? Do you want to see the overnight phenom, the youngster who just doesn't seem to lose, who's awesome, the head coach and Andy Reid, who's been a coach for so many years, finally got his first Super Bowl last year, well-deserved, and the man is back for a second year in a row with the Chiefs? Or would you rather see Tom Brady win a Lombardi without those Patriots? Remember, he couldn't do it without the Patriots. It's because of his wife that they moved. Remember, it's just he's too old, he's too washed up, and oh yeah, that's right, there's 3 linemen blocking for him that weren't even supposed to go to the NFL because the schools were too small, and if you played for those schools, you probably wouldn't go to the NFL, so stop trying. Who would you rather see win the Lombardi trophy?
That's so hard. I think I'll go with the 3. The one.
Oh! I like it. Because now she has 2 different sides. If the Chiefs win, she'd be like, aha, I like their uniform. Yes. And if the Buccaneers win, she'd be like, ha, the feel-good stories. She has one on each side.
Yeah.
I love it. Look, I completely agree with you that these are 2... They're all awesome stories. And you know what? Every one of these athletes deserve it. Everybody there. It's just awesome stuff. And you know what? Just getting there alone is already a major accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, nobody remembers second place. Not unfortunately, but the way it is no one remembers second place. And you know what? I think that's okay.
But then that's why they try harder next year and get their name. No. Or their team.
That's it. They that's right. And it's a whole new team next year.
Or they get that first place, I mean.
And, well, it's a whole new team. Mm-hmm. Players are going to leave. Free agents are going to go. Players are going to retire. Players are going to get drafted. But Taryn says here, the Chiefs' O-line will be busy after losing Eric Fisher. That's a toughie. And Taryn says, if the Chiefs win, they'll have the same number of Super Bowl wins as the Raiders and Broncos, and that is 3. So, that's true. We shall see. But with that said, and if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win, that'll be their second one they've won in their history. So, there we have it. So, with that said, that was another hour and a half show. I know we said an hour, but we just get caught up having fun. But this is always a great show. Man, this is it. This is the end of our Next week, we're going to talk a little bit about football. We're going to recap it a little bit. But we're going to get into our next sport. Or we're going to get into... what's coming up? We got March Madness coming up pretty soon here. We got NASCAR Daytona 500's coming up this month. We got I don't know if the Winter Nationals and the NHRA are coming up, but we got that coming up. The Australian Open is delayed this year from January. Serena Williams, can she tie Margaret? Can she tie the greatest of all time, at least in winning tennis majors? Can she tie? Okay. And I just want to say here, I want to make sure I have her name right as well. But Serena Williams right now is just one away, okay, from tying Margaret Court, that's her name, with 25, I believe. No, it says 24 Grand Slams. Margaret Court won 24 Grand Slams. That is more than even men. The highest man to win is Roger Federer, I believe, with like 18 or 19 or 20, somewhere right around there. But the highest major wins ever, Grand Slams, is Margaret Court with 24. Serena Williams is currently at 23. If Serena Williams wins one more, she will tie Margaret Court. And if she wins one more, she will surpass Margaret Court and have the most Grand Slams, not for just women, but any tennis player to ever play the game.
Wow, that'd be awesome.
She had a baby.
That'd be more than awesome.
It would be. She had a baby. She had some rough patches after the baby with not being able to get back to the finals and some of the Grand Slams. But gosh dang it, she's back. Mm-hmm. And I will be... we gotta cheer her on. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, she's wearing the red, white, and blue, you know. I mean, she's... I'm so excited for her, and I haven't heard anything that she's not going to compete. At least I hope I don't. Taryn, I know you probably know that news, man. Drop it on us, but I think she's actually going to compete. And if that's the case, and she's competing in the Australian Open, okay. Wait a minute. So let's see here. I think I saw something here that. Well, yeah, we got some stuff here coming up. I don't know just yet. We will find out. But yeah. If that's the case, we're hoping that she competes. That's going to happen. We got that coming up. We got tennis, okay? So we got all kinds of cool stuff. Basketball seasons right now just going. We got hockey season. So with that said, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Who knows what we're going to get into next week. But with that said, babe, any last words?
No, just take care, stay safe, and stay healthy. And thank you for listening.
And I couldn't agree more myself, y'all. Well, I couldn't have said it better myself, and I couldn't agree more. Please stay healthy out there in this crazy world. And big ups, by the way, to everybody who listened, but not tonight, of course. Mr. Pierre Moss, Mr. Taryn, right? Andrew Hagenbaugh. Appreciate you guys, man. You guys are awesome. Taryn says, great show, Larry and Cecilia. You two never disappoint. Pierre was right. Great way to close the evening. Well, thank you, Taryn. And with that said, there's only one more thing to say. Cue the music, because we're out of here. With that said, this has been fun. By the way, once again, we saw Carol liked it earlier, so big ups to you, Carol, for listening as well. And for everybody else who tuned in tonight and was in the chat room, we appreciate you all so very much for being a part of it. This was awesome, and it's been awesome. And, well, that's it. We got our show coming up next week, talking about a little bit more football, and then off to the next. I'm excited. You excited, babe?
Yeah.
How have you enjoyed doing the show the last month?
It's been fun. I like it.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. We appreciate you guys. Taryn says, best part of Fridays, Larry and Cecilia doing this show.
Thank you, Taryn.
Thank you, Taryn. We appreciate you, brother. And great show today, by the way, man. We can actually replay that one. But we appreciate you all. Thank you so much to everybody. Big ups to our sponsors, of course. Mama's Always Right Media Incorporated. They do their dang thing, helping you out with school. Of course, Mom's Always Right Media Incorporated, of course, their podcast. Check out, be ready for them. You'll see them on the iSports Radio media, social media pages coming up this weekend. It goes down the PM and Coffee After Dark. And, of course, big ups to the Sports Rundown. Of course, Miss Aaron Brewster and Mr. Chris doing their thing, man. The end of the show this morning, I gotta make sure to catch that replay there, but they are awesome doing their thing as well. So catch the Sports Rundown with Aaron Brewster and Chris Wolf Mondays and Fridays, 5 a.m. Central Time. You catch them on all places you can find podcasts, kind of like this podcast here. And of course, big ups to Legacy Financial. There's two people on a mission to help you do your thing financially, helping you get ahead in life. So big ups to them, and of course, big ups to the Raider Ramble, Mario Tovar, great guy. Check out the Raider Ramble if you're a Raider fan as well, on all social media platforms and all of their blogs. And just big ups to everybody who's been a part of this, y'all. With that said, that's gonna do it for tonight. For my beautiful girlfriend Cecilia, and for myself, Larry B. That's gonna do it for tonight. We will see y'all next week. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.